Assalamu alaikum. Today's lecture is about intrusion detection system, where we are going to discuss this research paper. This research paper present a review of most well-known anomaly-based intrusion detection techniques, and then it discusses some available platform or system under development and research project in the area of anomaly-based intrusion detection. And finally, it gives the outline of some of the main challenges that need to be dealt with for wider scale deployment of intrusion detection systems. Okay, we start with what is intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system can be a software application or it can be a hardware device that is used to monitor network traffic for suspicious activities and alert when any of the suspicious activity is discovered on the network. So it continuously monitoring the network traffic for suspicious activities and generate an alert if any of the suspicious activity is discovered on the network. So intrusion detection system have two basic functions. One is anomaly detection, and then the second is reporting. Like if any anomaly detection mean any of the violation of security policy occur on the network, then it detect about it, which is called anomaly detection, and then report that information to the security administrator that something wrong is going to occur on the network. So these are two primary or basic function of intrusion detection systems. But there are some intrusion detection systems which are capable of taking action when any of the malicious activity or anomalous traffic is detected. Like it can block the traffic sent from suspicious IP address. So then we call it intrusion prevention system, which not only report about any thing wrong occurring on the network, but also can take action to block that kind of action from the network. So intrusion detection systems are used to detect anomalies with the aim of catching hacker before they do real damage to a network. So they can be either a network based or host based intrusion detection system. A general architecture of intrusion detection system is based on 4 modules, as it is shown over here in this diagram, which are event blocks or e-boxes like shown over here. Then we have database boxes, analysis boxes, and response boxes. So the environment is directly monitored by event boxes. So this event boxes is composed of sensor elements that monitor the target system and get information events or record all the information events that are then analyzed by the other blocks. Then we have a D blocks or D boxes, or we also called it database boxes. These are the elements which are particularly used to store information from event boxes. Event boxes informations are stored over here in D boxes, and then from D boxes this information is used by analysis boxes and response boxes. Okay, then we have A boxes or analysis boxes, which are the processing module for analyzing events and detecting potential hostile behavior, so that if it find any kind of suspicious activity or hostile behavior on the network, then some kind of alarm will be generated if necessary. And then we have R boxes or response boxes. The main function of these boxes is the execution. In case if any intrusion occur, what kind of response will be generated to prevent the detected threat. As I mentioned earlier, that IDS are used to detect suspicious behavior of the attacker before they do real damage to a network. So they can be either a network based or host based. So network based intrusion detection system is deployed at a strategic point or point within the network where it can monitor all inbound and outbound traffic to and from all the devices on the network. So they analyze network related events like traffic volume, IP addresses, service ports, and protocol usage of different devices. On the other hand, host based IDS runs on all computer or devices in the network which have direct access to both the internet and the enterprise's internal network. Host based IDS has advantage over network based IDS in that it may be able to detect anomalous network packets that originate from inside the organization or malicious traffic that NIDS has failed to detect. Also, host based IDS able to identify malicious traffic that originate from the host itself, like when the host has been infected with some malware and is attempting to spread these malware to other systems in the network. Host based IDS can even detect this thing from the host itself. This paper mainly focus on network based IDS systems. Depending on the type of analysis that carried out, intrusion detection system are classified as either signature based or anomaly based, like whether it is a host based or network based. Depending on what kind of analysis is carried out by each type of intrusion detection system, they can be further classified as signature based IDS and anomaly based IDS. Now, signature based IDS monitor all the packets that are coming to the network and compare them against a data set of attack signature. So a signature database corresponding to the known attack is built before starting the analysis. So all the packets that are traversing the network, these are compare them against this database of known attack signature. For malicious threat, same like antivirus software work on the same principle. On the other hand, anomaly based IDS monitor network traffic and compare it against an established baseline or a normal behavior. Like, anomaly based detector attempt to estimate the normal behavior of the system to be protected. So it already create a baseline or a normal behavior of the system, and this is then compare it against baseline to determine what is considered normal for a network with respect to like bandwidth, protocol, ports, and other devices. So how to build this normal behavior? This normal behavior of the system or baseline is built using machine learning techniques, and it then generate an alarm or send a alert to IT team to suspicious activities and policy violation. If we compare both signature based and anomaly based IDS, they are similar in terms of conceptual operation, but the main difference is between the methodologies that are inherent in the concept of attack and anomaly. Like signature based IDS work on the known signature of the attack. So you can say that what is an attack? Attack is a sequence of operation that put the security of a system at risk. And if we compare it with anomaly, anomaly is just an event that is suspicious from the perspective of security. Now if we compare both, anomaly based IDS are better than signature based IDS in terms of detecting the novel attacks, like novel attacks or a new attacks for which signature has not yet established or is not yet built. So if some new attack is being carried out, signature based IDS would not be able to detect it because the signature of this attack is not yet present in the database, while anomaly based IDS can still detect such type of attacks. So as I told you that signature based schemes are very good for specified and well known attacks, the attacks which are already known, but they are not able to detect new attacks or unfamiliar attacks because their detection system is based on the signature of attack, and if signature of attack is unknown, then such type of attacks are not able to be detected by signature based IDS. So the main benefit of anomaly based detection technique is their ability to detect new or unseen intrusion events. But it's not like anomaly based IDS are always good. They also have this disadvantage that when we compare with signature based IDS, anomaly based have higher false positive rate. Most of the time there is false positive, mean there is no attack but your IDS still generate a alarm and detect an event as an attack, but when administrator go and analyze that event, it is not an attack, it is a normal behavior. So the rate of false positive in anomaly based IDS is higher than signature based IDS systems. Okay, now we are going to discuss anomaly based network intrusion detection system techniques. Because anomaly based intrusion detection system is looking for an activity or traffic that is not normal. Anomaly is some action that deviate from the normal behavior. So we are looking for an activity or a traffic that is not normal. So first, security administrator must have to define what is normal activity or what is a normal traffic. So for this purpose, security administrators can define this normal activity by creating different user group profiles. Like, a web server could have its own profile based on web traffic, while mail server could have another profile based on SMTP, and you are not going to expect telnet traffic going to your web server or SSH traffic going to your mail server. For these reasons, you should have different profile for each type of service that is offered on your network. So although different anomaly based approaches exist, but in general all of them consist of the following basic module or stages that are shown over here. That is parameterization stage, then training stage, and then detection stage, like shown over here in this diagram as well. Parameterization to training to detection stage. This our anomaly based model consists of these three stages. In parameterization state, the observed instance of the target system are represented in a pre-established form, and then it gives its information to the training stage. The normal or abnormal behavior of the system is characterized in the training stage, and a corresponding model is built. After the training, a baseline or a normal behavior model for a user group or user profile is built, and this can be done in different ways, either automatically or manually, depending on the type of anomaly based intrusion detection system that you are using, that we will discuss later on in these slides. And then we have a detection stage. Once the model of the system is built, it is compared with observed traffic, like all the traffic that is over here in the network, it is monitored against this model, and if there is any deviation found, then detection stage will generate a alarm that okay, this is a suspicious activity, so this activity should be reported as a intrusion report to the administrator. Now here, as I told you, that training stage is used to create this model. So now this training stage can be, or this model is built based on, these three models, behavioral models, like according to the type of processing that is related to the behavioral model of the target system. Anomaly detection techniques can be classified into three main categories: statistical based, knowledge based, and machine learning based. In the statistical based, the behavior of system is represented from a random viewpoint. So in statistical based IDS systems, alarms are generated based on a deviation from a normal state. So now what is a normal state? It is defined by sampling normal activity and traffic for a given period of time. So normalcy, you can say, is based on the average or median of all activity or traffic, and deviation is measured by calculating the standard deviation. So standard deviation are simply the amount of activity or data that matches or that does not match a sample, and then they measure the deviation from a normal state. Like for example, if 60% of your data falls within one standard deviation and 30% of all your traffic falls within two standard deviation, then only 5% of your data falls within the 3 or more deviations. So by using this method, the IDS can detect how abnormal specific activity or traffic is. Then come knowledge based or rule based IDS. In rule based IDS, a profile is built by defining rules to define a normal user behavior. So you must create rules that define normal user activity, and these rules are created by sampling computer and network activity for a given amount of time. And once the data set has been collected, rules can be created to define what the normal activity is, and then these rules or model representing normal computer and network activity. So any network traffic that doesn't match the rule is considered to be abnormal, and as a result an alarm will be generated whenever abnormal activity is detected on the network. And then come a machine learning based network intrusion detection system, which are based on the establishment of an explicit or implicit model that allow the pattern analyzed to be categorized, like neural networks. Now neural networks are built or trained by presenting the IDS system with a large amount of data and rules about data relationships, and then neural networks attempt to use artificial intelligence to build matrices based on the given information. Then a relationship between these inputs are used to build a matrix model after the biological neurons, such as those found in the human brain. So once neural network is established, it can be used as a model, or you can say definition of normal activity. And any activity that doesn't map correctly to the neural network model is considered abnormal, and alarm is generated as a result of it. Here in this diagram, then further categories of each of these anomaly based detection schemes are given. Like statistical are further categorized as univariant, multivariant, time series model. Similarly, knowledge based can be FSM, description language, expert system, and then machine learning based can be further categorized into different types like Markov models, neural network, fuzzy logic, etc. Okay, as I already mentioned that in statistical based techniques, the network traffic activity is captured and a profile representing its stochastic behavior is created. So the foundation of this approach is the analysis of audit records. So the audit records provide input to the intrusion detection function in two ways. First, the designer must decide on a number of quantitative metrics that can be used to measure the user behavior. The quantitative measure that can be considered as like gauge, counter, time intervals, resource consumption rate. So these can be used as a quantitative metrics that can be used to measure user behavior. Then an analysis of audit records over a period of time can be used to determine the activity profile of the average user. So these audit record act to define typical behavior. Two data set of the network traffic are considered. So one corresponding to the currently observed profile over time, and the other for the previously trained statistical profile. You already have a normal profile that you created based on the audit record, and the one that is current audit record serve to define the typical behavior at a particular time. So the intrusion detection model analyzes incoming audit records to determine deviation from average user behavior. So in case if it is deviate from the normal behavior, an alarm will be generated. The earliest statistical approach, both network oriented or host oriented IDS, uses this univariate statistical model, which model the parameter as independent Gaussian random variables, and then defining an acceptable range of values for every variable. Like the simplest statistical test is to measure the mean and standard deviation of a parameter over some historical period. So if you are going to do something like this, it gives you the reflection of the average behavior and its variability, and the use of this mean and standard deviation is applicable to a variety of different quantitative metrics like counter, timer, and resource measure, but these by themselves are typically too simple for intrusion detection purpose. So univariate model are considered to be not very effective. Then multivariant model that consider the correlation between two or more metrics were proposed, and these are more useful because experimental data have shown that a better level of discrimination can be obtained from combination of related measure rather than just using a one variant or one measure. Then come time series model, which focus on time interval together with an event counter or a resource measure, and looking for sequence of events that happen too rapidly or too slowly, and a variety of statistical tests can be applied to categorize abnormal timing in these models. Okay, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of statistical based anomaly network intrusion detection techniques are that the main advantage of the use of statistical profile is that an advanced knowledge of security flaw is not needed. So the intrusion detection program learn what is normal behavior and then look for deviation. So the approach is not based on any operating system dependent or any system characteristics or vulnerability dependent. It just learn by itself over a period of time that what is normal and then look for deviation. So it can be easily portable among a variety of system. Like if you create one statistical based IDS system, it can work on variety of different type of system because it is not system dependent. But the disadvantage of this scheme is that it is possible to be trained by an attacker in such a way then if it is trained by the attacker, then attacker will have something else as a normal, like attacker will train this system to be attack as a normal behavior. So then system will not able to detect the attack, because for system it is a normal behavior, because attacker actually train the system. Also, setting the values of different parameters is a difficult task for statistical systems, and statistical distribution per variable is assumed, but not all behavior can be modeled by using stochastic method. So that is another disadvantage of statistical based intrusion detection systems. Knowledge based techniques detect intrusion by observing events in the system and applying a set of rules that leads to a decision regarding whether a given activity is a normal activity or a suspicious activity. So our expert system are intended to classify the added data according to set of rule. So for this system, it involves 3 steps to create these set of rules. First, we need to define different attribute and classes which are identified from the training data. Then a set of classification rules need to be defined based on a parameter or procedures which are going to be deduced. And the third one is added data are classified accordingly to the set of rules that you have defined. In order to define these rules or specifications, some automatic tools can also be used, like these expert system can use finite state machine methodology, where a sequence of state and transition among them can be find out for modeling a different type of network protocols. And the most significant advantage of this type of technique is its robustness and flexibility, but the main drawback is that the development of high quality knowledge is often difficult and time consuming, and whatever the rules that you are going to define will be for a particular type of system. If you change from one system to another system, like operating system, you create a set of rules for Linux operating system, and now you are going to shift it to Windows. Maybe you need to redefine some of the rules which will not be applicable to the Windows operating system. Machine learning techniques are based on creating or manufacturing an explicit or implicit model that allow the pattern to be analyzed, to be categorized. So a particular characteristics of these machine learning based intrusion detection system is that they need for label data to train the model. So it require more resources, and in many cases the application of machine learning principle coincides with that for the statistical techniques, like they are similar in some way to the statistical techniques, but machine learning technique focus on building a model that improve its performance on the basis of the previous results. So machine learning techniques learn from its previous behavior. So in this way they are better than statistical techniques. So machine learning technique has the ability to change its execution strategy with time, because it learns from its past behavior. So whenever it get a new information, it may change its execution strategy from the previous one. So this feature make machine learning based IDS systems as a more desirable system. But the major drawback is it is more expensive in term of resource consumptions. Okay, here in this diagram they just show the comparison of all three anomaly based network intrusion detection schemes that I have discussed previously, that is statistical based, knowledge based and machine learning based, with their pros and cons of each along with different subtypes of each of the techniques. So we already cover it. Okay, this table represent the comparison of different machine learning based anomaly network intrusion detection schemes with their pros and cons. So first is Bayesian network, which is a model that encode probabilistic relationship among variables of interest. So this technique actually is used in combination with statistical schemes and have several advantages, like capability of encoding interdependency between variables and of predicting event, as well as the ability to incorporate both prior knowledge and data. But the disadvantage of this type of scheme is that it require higher computational resources as compared to the simple statistical schemes, and results are same like threshold based statistical scheme, like this its performance is same as threshold based systems, but it require more resources as compared to threshold based statistical system. Okay, then come Markov model, which is also a probabilistic approach. So Markov model is a stochastic model which is used to model randomly changing system, and Markov model assume that future states depend only on the current state and not on the event that occurred before it. The advantage of Markov model is that the target system has provided a good approach for the claimed profile, but the disadvantage is that, like in Bayesian network, the results are highly dependent on the assumption about the behavior of accepted for the system. And then comes neural network, which actually simulate the operation of the human brain. So neural networks have been used in the field of anomaly intrusion detection mainly because of its flexibility and adaptability to environmental change. So this approach has been used to create user profile, to predict the next command from a sequence of the previous commands, or to identify the intrusive behavior of the traffic pattern. However, the disadvantage of the neural network scheme is that they do not provide a descriptive model that explain why a particular detection decision has been taken. Then comes fuzzy logic, which is derived from fuzzy set theory, in which reasoning is just approximation, not the precise inference from classical predicate logic. Its reasoning is just approximate. So fuzzy techniques are used in anomaly detection mainly because the features to be considered in anomaly detection are also fuzzy variables, and this kind of scheme is considered as more effective, especially against port scanning and probe attack. But the disadvantage of this scheme is that it requires high resource consumption. Then come clustering and outlier detection techniques, which work by grouping the observed data into cluster according to a given similarity or distance measures. The advantage of this type of scheme is that they are more flexible and robust against global search method that converges to a solution from multiple direction, while it doesn't require any prior knowledge of the system. Behavior is just assumed, but the disadvantage is it require again a high resource consumption. This table presents some of the anomaly based NIDS research project and system that are under development. You can go through it by yourself. Okay, what are some of the open issues and challenges with respect to intrusion detection system? The first thing is low detection efficiency. Why? Because there is a high rate of high false positive, and this lack of detection efficiency is one of the open issue or challenge, and you can research on it to propose new intrusion detection system with high accuracy rate. The other open issue or challenge is low throughput and high cost, and this is mainly because of the high data rates that characterize current wideband transmission technologies. Third is the absence of appropriate metrics and assessment methodologies, as well as general framework for evaluating and comparing alternative IDS techniques. Okay, another open issue or challenge with IDS is IDS system are not defending themselves. It is possible for IDS system to be attacked, so they are poor in defending themselves from attacks. So we need some mechanism that require that IDS system are not only looking for traffic that is targeting other systems, but also should look at the traffic that is attacking on themselves. And last issue is the analysis of encrypted data, because if data is already encrypted, IDS system may not be analyze them properly. So the solution that can be proposed for this problem is to place your IDS system on the point where data is available in plain text format. Like after decryption, your IDS system should be able to analyze this data. So these are some of the open issues and challenges that are discussed in this paper. So here we finish it. Okay, thank you.